of all, an international alumni of Università Cattolica del Sacro Cuore, and here today from the International Marketing and Recruitment Department of the very same university. Well, of course, apart from myself, we have the honor today to have some very special guests. We start with Jordi Durante, Chief Revenue Officer of Al Nassr Football Club, who I thank very much for joining us. We have our very own Professor Carlo Barbera, who is also Chairman of Sportmaster Consulting. Thank you so much, Professor, for being here today with us. And joining us today, we also have Pietro Barbera, CEO of Sportmaster Consulting. Well, actually, we're going to start with a bang today because, as you might notice from the agenda of this masterclass, Jordi Durante will kick off everything, but then we're also going to go through, let's say, a brief introduction of Università Cattolica as an institution, like where we are located, what do we offer. We're going to have an extremely interesting contribution from Professor Barbera and Pietro Barbera as well regarding the future of sports management. And then you'll have to deal with me once again for everything related to the administrative procedures, such as application process, entry requirements, the boring stuff, let's say. And we're also going to dedicate the last 15 minutes for any question that you might have. We're going to have a question and answer session. And well, having said that, Jordi will now give some of his super interesting insights. He'll talk about sports management as a sector and, of course, some tips and instructions for you to keep in mind for your future. I'll leave the floor to you, Jordi, I guess. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the introduction, and happy to be here presenting this opportunity. Apologies if I don't have much time, but in these days we are preparing the campaign for the global launch of our partnership with Adidas, and in 10 minutes I have a meeting with Ronaldo to share with him what is the plan of this campaign. So apologies if I have only 5 minutes, but I have the GOAT waiting for me. If you can go back, yes, to my slide, at least you understand a bit about me. I was also a young student at some point. Now not anymore. I'm a professional in the sports industry. My dream was always sports. I was a former sportsman. I was doing track and field, and while I was studying, I was trying to conciliate the two things: sports and studying. I graduated in Bocconi, did my master both in Bocconi and Esade, and then moved to Dubai, to the Middle East, to start working in strategic consulting. Work between Delta Partners and Bain, but always in the back of my mind there was the sports part. But differently from now, it was difficult to access the sports industry. It was not developed, it was not professional, but now, as you know, in the last years, a lot of investment funds started getting into the sports industry. Many of you are aware of investors from the US or from the Middle East or from China in European football clubs. And this is what, let's say, started a professionalization in the sports industry. That's why at some point I decided to leave consulting, which was amazing because it gave me a great school after university. So I understood how to work in a professional manner, and decided to start my own agency, Atlos. It was based in the UAE. Managed to broker the deal of the media rights Serie A for all Middle East and North Africa. And from there, getting a bit more popular in the region as an expert in sports, and finally got an opportunity from the PIF, which is the fund that is becoming very popular in the sports industry, because not only they invested in 4 clubs in Saudi Arabia, the Al Nassr, my team, Al Hilal, Al Ahly, and Al Ittihad, but also they started a new golf competition, LIV. They are investing now as a title sponsor in the ATP, and now you always see in all the tournaments the PIF logo. So PIF is my employer, gave me the opportunity to be the Chief Revenue Strategy Officer in Al Nassr. And here I am now living my dream. It has been, let's say, not a straight line towards my objective, but finally I got to arrive here. Why I believe that actually this master is very important for the future managers in the sports industry is because it gives you already an understanding of what is business in sports, which was something that 15 years ago, especially in Europe, it was not popular. And I already explained you why we are at this stage now. There is a big need in the sports industry of professionals, which is not only sports passionate, but it's about students that have brilliant careers during their graduate years, meaning they can come from bachelors of business administration, engineering, marketing, accounting, any of these works perfectly. Then if they join this master, they will understand what is a sports. The good thing of this master, and this is a great job that actually Pietro and Carlo did, they managed to build a strong network of professionals. And it's not about advisor or experts in sports, but it's people that on a daily basis works in a sports industry, meaning that it's very good because they will share with you their life, their day-to-day operations. Because sometimes when you are at school, you can read books, you can study, but then when you get into the reality of the job, you understand that it's a completely different thing. I truly believe this is an opportunity for all of you, meaning take part to this course. You will get a lot of learnings from the industry, but most importantly, you will have access to a network of professionals that will help you to start your career in the sports industry. Actually, myself as Al Nassr, I have already committed that I can take one student for an internship inside my club, and believe me that in working one day close to me, you will see marketing, branding, ticketing, merchandising, retail strategy, and this is what is, let's say, the strength of this master, that you will understand what does it mean working in the sports industry.
Thank you so much, Jordi. Extremely important to always have, the insights, the actual expertise of a professional. It really makes a huge impact. Thank you so much for sharing this invaluable information with us. And thanks so much for joining us. Hopefully we'll meet in person soon, one day, perhaps in Milan. Looking forward to it.
And I hope that the people that are joining today this presentation, I hope to see some of you next year for the next academic year, because I'll be there with one of my sessions, and see you very soon, and good luck to everybody. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jordi.
Thank you, Jordi. Thank you very much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, what a great contribution. I mean, Jordi is having an actual meeting with one of the biggest sporting legends ever, with the GOAT, as he mentioned. And actually, Jordi started here in Milan. He started studying in Milan. What better place, let's say, than Milan, than Italy, for you to jumpstart your career in sports management and follow his steps, perhaps, or be part of this enormous global market. According to Glassdoor, sports management generated a global revenue of more than $500 billion in 2022. And according to Glassdoor, they will generate 50% more until 2026. It's a super fast-paced, growing environment with plenty invaluable opportunities for you all. And again, what better place, Università Cattolica, for you to start studying. What is Università Cattolica? Well, we're talking about the largest private university in Europe. We're actually old. Our university was founded more than 100 years ago. It was founded in 1921. As we speak, Università Cattolica has 12 faculties with something like 40,000 enrolled students. And in order for you to also understand how relevant and important the international community at Università Cattolica is, just consider, for instance, that more than 10% of our overall student body is made of international students, such as myself. I graduated some years ago, but I'm still an international alumni of Università Cattolica. We are located in 6 different cities. We start from Milan, which is basically where we are based. Let's say this is the Milan campus that you see in my background. We then move on to Brescia, Piacenza, Cremona, Rome, and as of this year to Bolzano as well. We have an extremely rich and quite multidisciplinary academic offer. We have more than 40 English taught programs, both at an undergraduate and graduate level. And of course, being an Italian university, we also offer more than 200 Italian taught programs. Having said that, with immense joy, I'll have to say, I'll now leave the floor to our dear Professor Carlo Barbera, who I thank so much for joining us today.
Well, thanks, dear all. I'm very glad to stay with you today, and I'd like to give you some elements to evaluate your career or the chance to transform your passion in sports in a profession. The first step is an answer. Why a master in sport management? Because sports is needed by professionalization. There is some offer on professional courses, but it's a growing industry, is a changing industry, is funny industry really, and is very interesting because, as I said before, a lot of business is managed by sports, because sports don't mean only match or something like that. 95% of sports is in the background on what we watch on television yesterday or tomorrow. That's to take in consideration for you to have the possibility to enter in a market, in the labor market that is international just, but need more professionalization. As Jordi said, it's coming from a good graduation, a good background, consulting experience. But right now, if you talk with him for within the next classroom you attend, he will tell you that it's funny, but it's very difficult because it asks you to be prepared on many issues. That's the reason why, please, Pietro, skip another slide. The mission of the master is to educate the future manager. We are going on to creating profiles ready to make the strategic decision. So that's the program of the master is based on an MBA approach. So all the theme, all the issue you have to manage. Talking about strategy, about data, about, and on the other side is a proactive action, because if we will have more and the brilliant manager in the sports, we develop the sports industry. That means data management, for example, is a very part of growing market. Another part, very, very funny and incredible, is the broadcasting, considering all the media and the development of the media in the next future. In our aim, as the colleague said before, is we are like So a lot of in terms of training, but practical training, also in the classes, not only during the internship or during the competitive visit and so on, because we have some professors coming from academic point of view, again, that give you the right balance between theoretical approach and practical approach. But also for more or less the 5%, the speakers and the teacher are coming from the market. Jordi is an example, and give you the concrete example of what we're doing day by day. And in the second end, it's the people that you have to confront with during the timeline of the master, but also in your career. Now I skip to Pietro, because Pietro is today also the tutor of the master that is running up. So is the best people, the best person to tell you what is happening today and what is the best for your next future. Please, Pietro, for the floor.
Yeah, so thank you everyone, and welcome to this masterclass. And my aim today is just to guide you through the program that we are doing right now, since we have the first edition, but we just opened the enrollment for the second one. And yeah, I live the daily life of the master, so I think I can try to give you as many hints as possible of all the daily life of the master. But before I give you really briefly my background, because I think I was in your same situation quite a few years ago, because I did an MBA in International Sport Management in Spain. And then I've been the director and business manager of Piatti Tennis Center, the tennis academy from which Yannick Sinner came out for 2 years. And after that, I decided to join full-time on the project that we have with Sportmaster and the Catholic University for this master, because I really recognize it's a need that Italy and Europe and all the world have to have better professionals in the sports industry, because we can develop a lot the industry and we need to exploit the chance we have right now. So I hope you will join the program also for this, because there's a big need of good professionals. So said that, I'll really quickly guide you through the structure, because we have 5 main areas that you can see here. So we have strategy and management, accounting and finance, governance and legal, policy, societies and territories. And then we also have the elective courses. And for example, one of the electives this year is regards the world of esports. So it's really also, you know, a groundbreaking new topic that is coming right now. And also we have the module of soft skills that is actually made by Carlo. So I think he can speak even better than me on this, but we go quite quick. But this is important because, for example, last class we had on soft skills was on the topic of how to approach an interview. Because our aim, one of our missions, is to give you the chance to end the master and be ready to leave your footprint in the sports industry or wherever. So in any industry, but obviously, personally, I would give as an advice sports, because it's funny but difficult, as Jordi said before. During the program, obviously, we assess the students, since it's a first level master of the university. So we do many projects with presentations as well. We do some exams. For example, our class of this year did the exam of finance 1 week ago, and they went pretty well, luckily. And also then we evaluate the internship that you will do, but we will get a little more in depth later. So this is to give you actually the class that we have this year, so that you can really see the reality of the course. Because since it's the first edition, we have a smaller class compared also to next year, where our aim is to get maximum 30 students. This year we have 16, but we have 60 partners that in any way they're giving their contribution with classes like Jordi, with internship. Also Jordi gave the internship. And also participating to what we call the advisory board, that is the meeting with all of our partners to develop the master in the best way possible, with the feedbacks from both the academic side, so the professors that are helping us, and the professionals of the industry. So what they're looking for in new resources that they are taking in their own companies. This year we started in March, and we will see later that next year we start in January. And right now we will have class until more or less the end of July. After that, we will have the internship period until December. At least we point out 3+ months of internship with our partners. And later I can give you some also examples of the internship that we're doing, because as you, I think, can understand, it's not only Italy, because we have a couple in Saudi, couple in Switzerland, then in Germany, UK. So we are also trying to be international in that kind of topic. But one thing I would like to point out is that classes are not only real classes, so like theory and practical cases, but we do also quite a lot of corporate visits. For example, next week we have planned a couple of corporate visits to BCC, that is a bank here in Milan, but is a national bank that is also providing a scholarship this year for one of the students. And also after that, we will go to Bonacossa Tennis Club. That is an historical tennis club here in Milan that will host one of the most important junior tournaments. So we will see, the backstage of what it means, the organization of such an important tournament. And I can tell you that is a lot of things, because since I worked for 2 years in elite tennis level, it's really, really tough to organize an event like that. So now, how it is going? Here you can see who came so far, professionals from these companies, but not only. These are the most highlighted that I want to share with you. So we have Al Nassr, we have AC Milan, we have Puma, Stars Play, that is a sort of DAZN in the MENA region. We have Dertona Basket, that is a little bit more national, because it's an Italian basketball club. That is a visionary project regarding the city of sports that they are creating. They are just finishing it. Then we have EY as a consulting firm that is also with us since day 0 of the master and of the whole project. Fondazione Cortina, and also the Olympic Committee, because we also support and share knowledge for the next upcoming Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Games that they are coming. And Olympia Milano again in the world of basketball. And on the left, you can see the topics that we touched so far. More or less, they cover the 50% of the program right now, because we are at the middle part of May. But most important is who's coming next, because we also started to have contribution from the US world that is really crucial for us, because it's a completely different business model, is a completely different concept of sports as well. And for example, we had the class from the vice president of marketing and the fan engagement of the Orlando Magic. That was really insightful. Also for me, I want to be honest with you and be completely transparent, because we discovered so many new things that in Italy you don't see right now, but we need to create also this in Italy. And the rest you can see, we touch almost every sport, because we don't want to be football centric. We want to give space to all the sports, because I'll make an example. The one that you see on the top left corner is FIPE, is the Weightlifting Italian Federation. That is a small one, to be honest, in terms of athletes, but one of the most important in terms of medal at the Olympic Games. And also then we have collaboration with the University of South Carolina, who's sending us a couple visiting professors. And we also have the motorsport with Gresini. And maybe we are lucky, but we took them and we started with them in the year where Mark Marquez joined the team and is also winning some races. So we're pretty happy about that, to be honest. And then we also have Cycling World and agency. We also have the National Basketball Players Association that will come in presence to make a lecture and share their knowledge with our students. Obviously, these are not only our partners. We have many more, but we highlighted these so far. To also, as I said in the beginning, I want to give you a transparent point of view of the master. So I'll tell you how it works when, for example, Jordi came to make his class. That was in the first week of the master of this year. Obviously, as we said, for us, it's really also practical. So we want to be really interactive with all the class that we have. Also because I can say after 2 months that we have a really good class. They are really interactive, proactive, and have a lot of ideas. So it's really also insightful to share their point of views with the professionals that are coming. So obviously Jordi, when he came, made a little bit of a presentation of his career, his professional path, and how he ended up there, because obviously I can tell, but I think many of you are in my same positions. It's a dream to do the job he's doing right now. So, being here and say, okay, I have to leave because I have to meet with Ronaldo to share a plan, I would do that as well. But after that, we had a lot of insights regarding Al Nassr, and also all the development that is happening in sports in Saudi, because also in terms of tennis that I know a little bit more and I lived it in, let's say, a straight way, it's really a big change. For example, they are making a new tournament that is the Six Kings Cup. And this is like out of nowhere at the level of a Master 1000 tournament. And also in 2034, there will be the World Cup. So for them, it's really important also based on the mission that they have to reach many aims and targets they put to all the clubs and societies related to sports and entertainment before 2030. But it's not only that, obviously. As we said, it's really important for us to have an interaction with the professionals, also because it's important for them to evaluate who is in our class, to then say, okay, this guy might be really interesting also for the internship. So it's important that all the professionals are also providing the chance to have some exercises so that they can evaluate you in a bit of a manner. But also it's really important because you can see many sports, many point of views, and not only changing sports, but changing, for example, with Jordi was a revenue, then we had with Fondazione Cortina on sponsorships. So you touch many point of views. And obviously every time there is a Q&A at the end so that all the students can interact and, let's say, have all their doubts solved speaking with a professional. But this is also during the class. It's really, I would say, in a good way, informal, because like this, you can have a straight interaction with professionals of this caliber. So to go on, and this is also for you where you can find a little bit of information that might be useful for you to evaluate your future career. What are we doing right now to promote the master and all the content that we are creating? Obviously, we have the website of Cattolica International. We have also ours, that is Sportmaster Consulting. You can find it. We have social media that are pretty crucial for us to show also all the lectures that are coming. So if you want to check and have an idea, you can look for Sportmaster Consulting on LinkedIn, where we show who's coming and what is the topic that we touch every day. So I think that might be useful. And obviously, as events, we're doing it right now, so I will not spend too much time on this. Why I'm telling you this? Because for us, it's really important to share knowledge. Is one of our mission, actually, of the master and of the university for sure. So we are creating a lot of content and interaction through mostly Instagram and LinkedIn, because obviously we want to reach out to the best professionals possible and the best students possible. So that's really crucial for us, and you can see the numbers that we are achieving right now. So as you can see, and as I said before, for sure sport management is a really hot topic right now, because many industries are changing, but the sport industry is changing in a really good way, and we need and they need good professionals. So that's really important. I want to give you also the feedback from the students that we have right now in class. Actually, now they are doing a class with EY on finance statement analysis. And I want to tell you what they like of the master and what is, let's say, their interest. What are their interests that they are discovering also throughout the course? The strengths that they are, let's say, they like the most right now are the MBA structure. So really practical, because obviously theory is really important, and also the support that we have from many professors at the university is crucial for us. But the fact that maybe in the morning they have the theory and in the afternoon a professional like Jordi come and say, okay, now we see how I did this, And so you have a practical case that you can study. It's really crucial for them. They are liking it quite a lot. So I hope eventually you like it as well next year. And personally, I liked it when I studied this master. It was really important for me also to create my own point of view in the sports industry. And obviously the network, because we are creating, you saw a little bit the partners that we have before. So creating a network both national in Italy and international is really important, because the sports industry in the end is a world of connections. So you need to know the best people and the most people that you can. So we want to give this chance to kickstart the career for our students. The interests that are, let's say, the most liked by the students are for sure marketing, sponsorships, and events, and I would put also branding in this. Sustainability and territory, and also here it's a hot topic, as I said before, because of the Winter Olympic Games we will have really soon. Finance, I didn't expect, but it's a topic that is really, really well explained, and it's been liked a lot by the students. And also the development of companies and management. Obviously, this is a little bit more general, but it's important. For example, we see here in Italy the case of AC Milan, how it improved, and also Inter, Como, many other clubs, for example, in football, how they improved throughout also implementing a new management model. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the internship. This is obviously, I think, as crucial as it is for you, also for us, because what we want to do is to give our students really the chance to start their career in a really useful way, I would say. So smart and useful. For us, the internship is not sending you to a big club and say, okay, they're going there. I want to be really transparent on this. But it's okay, you go there and you have an active role where maybe you can already take decisions. It's really important, because that's how we want to educate our students. Here you can see one other added value that we are trying to implement, and actually we are starting this week, so it's a topic for now really important now. That is the mentoring program, because thanks to the network that we created, we give every one of our students the chance to have his personal mentor. What does it mean? This means that our students already before ending the class program, they have the chance to spend up to 3 hours through calls or also in person if they are in Milan with the professionals that have a really top position in the sports industry. I'll just make some examples among the names that you can see here. I'll take the example of Merlini Carlo. He is actually now the manager of Gresini Racing, so a MotoGP team that is now trying to win the Constructor Championship as well. So Liane Riccardo, he works for IWC, the clock watches, not clocks, if not he kills me if he understands this, but he is also one of the main sponsors of Mercedes F1. Jordi, you just met him. Alessandro Masaro is the strategy director and manager of Stars Play. Then we have the communication manager of AC Milan. We have Passerella, who's working in our Rothschild dynasty, but before he was working for Rome as a sustainability manager. So you can see more or less the profile that we're trying to share with our students to give them the best added value that we can. And to finish, I would say, at least my part, and you jump back, I want to show you also this slide, because for us it's really important, and also to keep the transparency thing that I spoke about before. Now we're closing the internships that are really crucial, as I said before. And what we are doing right now is to collect all the opportunities, and we have more than now 25 internship opportunities with 16 students. So it's really important also that we can have one internship for each one of this year's students of our class. And obviously, what I want to highlight, especially since I see you as future students of the master, is the fact that we will also try to find the best fit between our students and the internship that we are providing, because in the end, it's us and the university that are putting you in a big company. So we want to be sure that we put the right resource for the company. That's really important also to create loyalty with our partners, and also, for you to have the chance every year to have a better stage. So I think I finished on this part. So I don't know, Ador, if you want to go on.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Pietro. Well, impressing, honestly. And as we always say to our students, finding the right fit is what really matters. Finding the best place for you to grow as a student, to grow as a professional afterwards. And I mean, I know this from the list of partners, actually, you mentioned AC Milan, you mentioned Olimpia Milano as well. I mean, the program itself is taught in Milan. Università Cattolica always tends to have this sort of very strong connection with the territory where we offer a certain program. So Milan itself is the economical capital of the country. It's the financial hub of the country. And I mean, is also home to, let's say, AC Milan. It's like one of the most successful football teams ever. They have won like 7 UEFA Champions League Cups in the last, I don't know how many years. So the opportunities are here. You will be growing as a student, but you also have the perfect opportunity to put that knowledge into use, into real case scenarios. And well, even though this next part will not be as fancy as what we have discussed up until now, it is still very important. We're going to discuss about the entry requirements, the application procedure, and the application timeline as well. Speaking of timelines, applications are already open for international students. You can visit our website right away, have a look through the information that you can find there, navigate a bit into our international website, and you can start it right away. The upcoming application rounds deadline is June the 27th, with the final deadline being by the end of October. But there is another very important deadline that you need to keep in mind. The deadline related to the scholarships, because the program also offers some scholarships, some partial scholarships. With the full tuition fee being 12,000 euros, we have put in place what we call some early bird scholarships that would cover part of that full tuition fee. The total discount would be of 1,500 euros. And you can be considered for said scholarship as long as you apply within July 31st. That would be the final deadline for you to be considered for the scholarship. In terms of entry requirements, well, there is a pretty obvious one, I'd have to say. The program is entirely taught in English, so you would need to show proof of linguistic proficiency. It could be an English language certificate, like the academic IELTS perhaps. It could be the TOEFL IBT as well. Or you could also opt for an interview with the master committee themselves. So you can show linguistic proficiency with them directly. In terms of then, let's say, academic background, well, you need to either hold an undergraduate degree, first of all, or you would have to be still attending the final year of your undergraduate studies. Apart from that, well, you can start the application right away. You can scan the QR code right here. You will be redirected to the application form. It's a super easy, pretty straightforward procedure. You would be asked to create an account, as if you were creating an account for any social media, perhaps. You'll have to insert very few information and then upload the required documents. We're going to ask you for your transcripts, an English language certificate, if you have it at the moment. We're going to ask you for a motivation letter and a reference letter as well. And I know that it might sound a bit of a cliche, but we're here to help you. Us as an international area, the Master Committee as well. Any questions, doubts, anything that you might feel the need to share with us, please do. You have our contact right here, our website as well, our phone number. You can drop a few lines, you can call us. We are really here to help you with anything that you might need. Having said that, since we're talking about questions and doubts, we will be more than happy to receive any.
Great. Well, thank you very much. That is the cue for me to come back in. And yeah, welcome everyone. Just to highlight, so you can write your questions at any time through the panel on the right bottom. I see a lot of people already did that. Also, thank you for your feedback via the polls. As many attendees saw, I opened up a couple of polling questions to get to know you a little bit better about your background, what you're looking for in the program, and also if you're considering to apply for when. So it would be useful for us to know. Also for the people watching the recording, I know a lot of people these days do. You can also interact in all these ways. So you can answer the poll, you can still write questions as well. All right, of course we cannot answer them live here, but we will be able to get back to you later. So Ador and his team will get them.
Happily.
All right, so we do have some questions. Bruna is asking, do you think it's going to be good for the program to have a woman with international experience, a diverse background, that shows passion and dedication, is willing to help the institution grow? Well, there was a short reply already. I think it was from Professor Barbera, but yeah, you might want to, I don't know if you want to answer that further, otherwise.
Yes, only to add that the role of the woman is growing all in every market. We see in terms of managerial point of view, in the board, director, and different role for different company. The woman is growing is very important because the way to manage, is quite difficult. It's sometimes require different kind of approach, and the women approach should be successful. Right now, in Europe and in US, the role of women is very, very wider than expected.
Yeah, if I can add one more thing to this, we have many classes regarding also the development of women in sports. And also we will have especially one specific class with a sport consulting firm from London that is following a lot of UK and US industry and development with the roles of women, and with the ECA also that is coming in the same day on the same topic. So we really feel also this topic because I think is one of the best also in terms of development in the future, because it's growing a lot. Now also the F1 started a women program, and also, for example, again on football, because we are in Italy and football is the widely most known sport. Both Premier League, La Liga, and also Serie A now they are developing a lot the women's side of sports.
Great, good to hear. So Bruna, do by all means contribute and be a women leader in that field as well. Okay, so question from Mopo, if I say that right. Otherwise, apologies. Can I study part-time? Because I'm currently enrolled in a university. So I think it's full-time was mentioned, right?
If I may answer right away, yeah, it is a full-time program. So you need to complete your studies elsewhere in order to then be eligible for admission to this program of ours.
I can add another thing. As we said before, one of the value of the master is to start to build up a network, not only a knowledge. So right now, as I write down the answer, we are planning some specialized module on some topics. But right now, if you are coming from a university for training and you would like to enter in a managerial point of view, consider this kind of investment. So right now is a full-time and you should manage something by remote, some classes or something like that. But my personal suggestion is that you have to plan to exploit this possibility, because, for example, talking with one of these senior manager should catch more information and I repeat myself, you start a network knowledge that is very, very important in every market, also in the sport market.
Okay, great, thank you. Hope that was clear. Next question we received from Luca, I think it was answered already, about the scholarships and how we get it. So I think that was just before you explained that, Ador. But yeah, there was a slide on this.
Exactly.
And
yeah, exactly. It's an early bird discount. In order to, let's say, gain or obtain this early bird discount, you'll have to submit your application within July 31st.
Good. So that's the important date to keep in mind. Good. Next question from Bim is just about football management. I'm passionate about basketball, and also answered, but just to make sure for the audience to hear that.
I'd like to add one point. For us, all the sports are relevant for the master, and maybe I have the opportunity to underline that we are talking about sports from different perspectives. Just did, but I repeat, business one point of view, but territory is the impact in the society. For example, the turning point of ESG approach. Sports could help all of us to go ahead in terms of sustainability approach in terms of management. So all the sports, but also in different perspectives. The sports industry for us are teams, federation, something like that, but also the other industry, the data industry, the broadcasting, the media, all quite funny sometimes, but all the main team is called a media company, not a sport company. We can discuss about it, but it's relevant messages. We are all the sports, different perspective, and very important for us in terms of background for all our university. Is very important to see and to look at the impact in terms of social point of view of sports, and believe me, sports can do a lot, really.
Yeah, if I can add one more thing on this, just to give a couple examples, it's not only football, but also it's not only that, because as also Carlo said before, just to make an example, we go from Gresini to Puma, Soconi, and this kind of thing. So it's not only like football clubs for sure, but also I think one example really important, also because I'm affectionate to this, is the Fundación Municipal Deportiva of Valencia. So we had the chance to have the managing director of this Fundación, that is the sport foundation of the city of Valencia, and we covered all the kind of topics. So from the new basketball stadiums that they are building to how important it is the Valencia Marathon in the year, and also in terms of social life in Valencia. So it's definitely not only about football management.
Great. Thanks for those answers. That's great to hear, and I'm sure also useful for the audience to know. Next question, Luca was wondering if AC Milan is also a partner. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah,
so
yeah. I confirm, and it's one of the first partners actually we got for this project. And also I add that for them we have one class here in the university, and then we spent one full day at Casa Milan, so the headquarters of the club, to discover everything about communication, marketing, the media house, and all the insights that we could get.
Great. Good to hear. Well, we're getting thumbs up, I see now as well. So I think Luca's probably glad about that. There was a follow-up question from Luca. If I don't have a background in finance, law, business, or marketing, will it be a struggle for me to study this master?
Okay, we can say that every one of us is coming from different backgrounds. So, as I said before, we have MBA approach. So all the theme, all the matter is to be handled by a manager, especially if you are looking for to be a senior manager in the middle of the end of their career. So it's tough to study, for example, legal issue or graduate or something like that. The correct answer is yes, but in the same time is necessary. For example, I'm talking about sustainability for the ESG issue. All the development of this area, that is one of the most growing area, also in terms of employability for your guys, coming from there. And there's something from regulation. So you don't need to be a lawyer or specialized in legal, but you need to understand what's the value of this kind of approach. So if you are coming from studies like general management or something like that, you can have a little bit gap. But we try to enter in the gap to explain you, give you at least all ideas how important, how relevant is this matter, and maybe during your career you can have the possibility to go deeper, maybe in some specialized course, or you're in company working and something like that. But that's my suggestion, a personal suggestion to all of you. I'm sorry for myself. I'm a little bit older. I'm a senior manager for a long time in different markets, in different company. I'm professor, but in my real life was manager of a big company all over Europe, especially. And it's very important to understand all the theme or the matter. You don't be specialized on, but you need to understand that regulation is a big part of a manager working day.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Marina has a question, and when can we expect an answer if we were accepted and if we send the application in the first application deadline? So I guess Martina already
I think I can answer that, I suppose. Typically, you would have to wait, let's say, from 4 up to 6 weeks from the round's deadline. So if you would be, let's say, applying within this round, which has a deadline on June the 27th, you would be receiving a feedback, let's say, by the end of July. Of course, some feedbacks are shared a bit earlier than others. So typically you could also expect something before the 4 weeks have passed.
Yes, may I add another element? The maximum people that compose the class would be 30 people. So for us, it's very important, as I would say, we try to give you the feedback as soon as possible, and sooner after 1 or 2 meetings with the committee of the master that try to have a correct size of the classes and correct profile of the people. So we try to give you the feedback fast as possible because it's your interest, but in the same time, it's our interest to have the right class form as soon as possible.
Perfect. Good. We're getting the thumbs up there as well. So I hope that's answering the question. Wim has a question. Do you offer a dorm to stay in? So housing.
I can go and answer that as well. So the university does not have, let's say, its own dorm. However, we work with some great housing providers / housing agencies that will be assisting you with the whole accommodation hunting process, even before you come in Milan. And actually, you can find some of their contacts right away in our international website. So if you want to have a look at them, go through their websites as well, please do. You can find all the pieces of information in our international website.
Perfect. Great. Thank you. I think for now, the last question from Luca. So is it possible to have an internship even in AC Milan? Or a team like organizations that big?
Yeah. On this, I jump on and I confirm. Like AC Milan will put 1 or 2 places of internship for this year, and obviously, as I said in the last slide I showed in my speech, they put 1 or 2, but if they find the right resource, so then it's also up to the students to be able to exploit the chance. But I confirm that teams like AC Milan or you already heard also from Jordi, also Al Nassr is putting 1 place for internship. So yeah, I confirm everything.
Perfect. Well, I guess that's good news for Luca as well. If you're interested, then there might be the opportunity there. Great. Those were the questions we've received so far. And I don't think there was anyone in the chat. Just in case I missed it. No, I think there were no questions there. And well, then we slowly round off the session. We have a minute left or so. If you still have a question, then this is the moment. Do let us know. But otherwise, we'll slowly round it off. I have a last polling question for the audience. So I will put that up. If you haven't answered the polls, yes, please do. We'd like to hear your feedback. And the last polling question is actually to know how we did. How did you find the session? So I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Where now you can grade us. How did we do? Hope we met your expectations. If anything else, yeah, let us know via the chat. And we hope, of course, we have a good score so far. I can see we're getting good grades, so that's good. So far, so good.
That's a good news.
And yeah. And yeah, with that, again, I don't see further questions, so I'd like to pass the word over to you with maybe to round off the session. Some last words. I don't know who like to take that, but
yeah. If I can, I just say one thing based on the brief experience I had. So just to close this, is for me, my personal opinion again, is the right time to study sport management, because it's the right time to exploit the chances that we can have in the sports industry, because now it's growing a lot, it's assuming more and more importance, and also the fact that they're shifting from sport to media and entertainment. This gives us really broad perspective of the sports industry. So that's the only thing I want to say, because I lived it on my own skin.
well, we're getting thank yous from the audience, so great. Thank you for your input and for everyone to join. If we had different countries joining in today, but also thanks for the speakers, Pietro, Ador, and Professor Barbera, thank you. And of course, Jordi Durante, who was with us. In case he hears this, thank you very much for joining as well. And I'll leave you with a little video we still have for you about the program. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.